All right, today we're going to talk about one of students' favorite subjects, rational exponents. And the reason why kids like this is it's the rare case that I tell them not to show work. So let's begin by looking for a pattern. So if I told you 4 to the 1/2 was 2, and 9 to the 1/2 was 3, and 25 to the 1/2 was 5, what might you guess 36 to the 1/2 would be? Well, I think pretty much most of you would say 6. So what is that 1/2 doing to those numbers? Well, it's like square rooting. So 4 to the 1/2 is simply another way to write the square root of 4. And 9 to the 1/2 is just another way to write the square root of 9. So let's take a look at a couple more. What about now if I said 4 to the 3/2 is 8, 9 to the 3/2 is 27. What is 25 to the 3/2? Well, we know what the 1/2 did, so we're trying to figure out, well, what is that 3 doing? Well, 25 to the 3/2 would be 125. So what's happening here with these rational exponents is you have an exponent that is now a fraction, and the bottom of the fraction is the root you will be taking, and the numerator of the fraction is the power. So for instance, in this one right here, 4 to the 3/2, this 2 here is going to be taking the square root of 4, which will give you 2, and then you're going to raise it to the third power. So you always want to do the denominator first. You always want to take the root first. It'll make your numbers smaller before you take the power, which makes them bigger. So like here on this one, this 2 is going to take the square root of 9, which would be 3. And then this 3 in the numerator would be 3 to the third, which would give me 27. All right, let's look for one more pattern. 4 to the negative 1/2 is a half. 9 to the negative 1/2 is a third. 25 to the negative 1/2 is 1/5. What do you think 36 to the negative 1/2 will be? Well, it follows that it would be 1/6. So now, once again, we know that the 1/2 is creating the square root. But if you remember, when you have exponents like x to the negative 1, that creates a flip. That makes this 1 over x. So that's what this negative exponent does. It creates a flip. So I'm going to take the square root of 4, which is 2, and then I'm going to flip it, which is a half. I'm going to take the square root of 9, which is 3, and then I'm going to flip it, which is a third. So now, in rational exponents, you could have a negative sign here, which would create a flip. So again, this is the order I always do these in. I first do the root, then I do the power, and then I would do the flip. There's one more thing you just have to be careful of. So if I had negative 4 to the 1/2, remember that's the same thing as saying the square root of negative 4. And in this unit, we are only talking about real numbers. So we're not getting into imaginary numbers in this unit. So your answer for this one would have to be undefined. And that would go with any even root. So if I had negative 16 to the 1/4, I would have to say that's undefined. But that's only true of even roots. Because remember, odd roots, I can take the root of a negative number if it's odd. Like the cube root of negative 27. Again, remember, those are identical statements there. So that would be negative 3. So go ahead and practice this on your homework. And if you have any questions, let me know.